Greetings to you all, beloved. This is your messenger, the Lord's messenger, Leji Pascal Sagwefia. I would like to share something very brief with you. This evening is actually evening here. I want to share something briefly from the Old Testament. We all know the story of Joseph. Actually, I will be coming up with a series of things. People have been asking the question, if the Old Testament is not to be practiced, why is it still in the Bible? There are lessons to be learned in the Old Testament, and I want to be sharing those, or in due course, I'll be sharing some of those lessons with you. We all know the story of Joseph, how he had a dream. His father questioned that dream because it meant that his own father was going to bow for him, and the brothers hated him so much for that dream, and how he ended up in Egypt and becoming, some would say prime minister, some say governor of Egypt and stuff like that. I just want us to look at this from this angle. We all know that he was born of Rahel to Jacob, Israel. As a matter of fact, Rahel was his beloved wife, the woman Jacob actually fell in love with and wanted to marry. Then he was tricked by the uncle Laban to marry Leah, and then later married Rahel upon hard labor. And we all know that story, and how Rahel gave birth to only two boys, Joseph and his younger brother, Benjamin. And Benjamin, Rahel passed away just moments after giving birth to Benjamin. It was a painful labor, very painful one, and she even named him Benoni before she died. But the father said that name was too much because it means pain. Because she bore him out of pain, so he named him Benoni, and the father changed the name to Benjamin. So the father loved those two boys so much. So you could imagine if Joseph had come to the father to tell him that, Daddy, you remember the dream I told you about? The Lord said I should go to Egypt. So I'm packing bag and baggage to Egypt. The father wouldn't have allowed it. No, he wouldn't have, because he loved him so much. And you remember that even, you know the story of the coat of many colors. So he loved Joseph and the brother Benjamin so much. He wouldn't have allowed him to go to Egypt like that to fulfill what dream? What kind of dream? No, it wasn't going to happen. But look at how it happened. Out of betrayal, conspiracy by the brothers who were jealous of him, who thought he was a thorn in their flesh, and conspired to even kill him, but eventually had to sell him out. In fact, sell him into slavery, and he was taken to Egypt, where he became a servant in Potiphar's house. And I don't want to bore you all with this. We all know the story and all the temptations he went through and everything. Then eventually he became a prime minister. I'm taking this story from this angle of the way Jacob rose to the top. God took him to the top out of pain, or in pain, I should say, because it was hurtful what the brothers did to him, what Potiphar's wife did to him, and all those things, they were preparing him for the ultimate, for glory. So sometimes, I want to share this so that, especially those of us who pray against the supposed enemies, sometimes some doors that have been shut on us are actually shut to prevent us from evil. Some are shut to redirect us. Some pains that have been caused to us are meant to propel us to another level. because the great dream that guy had. Unfortunately for us, God only shows us what he wants to achieve with us, but how he wants to achieve it with us, we never know. We meet obstacles and other things on the way, and just that we trust in his faithfulness that he will take us there. So I want to use this Joseph story to encourage somebody. He became a prime minister, second to Pharaoh in Egypt, and it wasn't easy. I don't know. I'm not sure if God has shown Joseph how he was going to get there. He would have approved of it. But one thing was so sure: Joseph knew God, and he trusted in him, and he had so much faith in God. So everything that was happening to him, he kept counting. He never let his God down. Me included. Sometimes we get weary of the persecutions, the lies, the betrayals. Sometimes they get on our nerves, but just want to encourage all of us that the Lord knows how he does his things, and if you can only trust in him and allow him to take us there, he will. And another point in this story is what happened in Potiphar's wife. It was a glorious opportunity. In human sense, it was a glorious opportunity for Joseph to have had a good time in the house when Potiphar's wife was tempting him, but he still counted on God. And this goes to tell us that not every opportunity is of the Lord. Everything we see as opportunity of the Lord. I pray that we learn to lean on him and try to count on him and get close enough to hear him when he speaks to us, so we know which one is for us and which one is not for us. So Joseph got to the top through pain, and it wasn't easy. I had to go to that prison in a dungeon, and it was terrible. In my conclusion, when he became a prime minister or a governor, and then the brothers and the father and everybody had to come to him and bow to him, in normal human sense, we would have seen it as victory over our enemies, and then we want to take our own pound of flesh. We want to get back at them and let them feel what we felt. But in Genesis 50:20, Joseph made a profound statement when the brothers came trembling before him and thinking that he was going to repay them in their own coin. He said, "You meant it for evil, but the Lord meant it for a day like this, that many lives will be saved." So sometimes some of the pains we bear, some of the anguish, some of the thing we call, like in a way, aduklidudu, they are all to get us there. I want to encourage somebody. It is well. Let us count on the Lord all the time. And finally, just want to let you know that these are some of the things that happened in the Old Testament, or are recorded in the Old Testament, for us to learn from. Not necessarily to repeat, but to learn from and to encourage us, and know that God deals with people in various ways. There are people, no pain, God just rose them to them. No, even you can go. So we'll be taking it one after the other. God is a he dies his things in diverse ways. We can't really understand him. Look at Gideon. He picked him from somewhere, and David was a shepherd somewhere. So there are various people and the way he dealt with them. There were prophets who had to bear pain. Ezekiel had to be used as an example for Israel. Pain. Jeremiah. So we'll look at all of them. But for today, it is about Joseph. And I want to use this story to encourage somebody. Akpe.